Alright, what is up guys? I've got yet another unboxing for you. This is probably going to be the last one I do for quite a while, but this is also should turn out to be maybe the most exciting one I've had in a very long time. Basically what I have today is the remaining turbo parts I need to finish the Dakota, or at least all the stuff that I had to order that I can't just pick up at a store, and all the stuff that I need to actually get the turbo on the truck. There's still a few things that I don't have to actually make the setup work, but I will be able to put the turbo on and drive it with the turbo on it with all of this stuff that I have here. Like I said, this will be the last unboxing for a while. I'm not trying to turn this into a Rust Belt unboxing garage or anything like that, but this one right here, I almost cut myself there too, that was really stupid. This one right here is probably going to be the most exciting one I've had in a very, very long time, because of course there's a lot of turbo parts here. So, first one open, since you guys know about the wastegate already, is this really odd coupler adapter. So yeah, this is a 4-inch to 2.5-inch silicone coupler. I believe this is a 3-ply. Yeah, it's a 3-ply coupler, Sport JDM, whatever that typical eBay off-brand is. This is going to be to go from the air head I'm using to the intercooler piping that I am running. So this is the only extra coupler I had to buy separate. I needed a 2-inch to 2.5-inch elbow, but I already had one of those left over from the green truck. I've had one sitting around for quite some time. So this was the only odd coupler I had to buy, which is nice. This thing, I know this one was kind of expensive actually. It was around $10 for this one, but it's a really odd size. It's not a very common one. It appears to be okay. I mean, it's a coupler. Can't really go wrong on couplers for the most part. This next one is more than likely going to be some sort of oil fitting for the turbo. This one is the drain fitting I'm going to be putting in the oil pan. This is like a bulkhead fitting sort of deal. So you just remove your oil pan, drill a hole into the pan, and then this nut right here threads into it, and you just sandwich it onto the oil pan. It actually says right on this thing, 16mm oil pan adapter, 90 degree, no weld. So it's a drain fitting that you don't have to weld onto your oil pan, which I want to do. That fitting was like $10 or $15, and the coupler was about $10. Most of, I think all of this stuff together I spent like $350, and then there was one item was $100, and another set of items was $110. So that was where most of that came from. Oh, this is a sandwich plate. So on the green Dakota, I removed the stock oil pressure sender and ran an oil line from where the pressure sender location was, which is just 1/8 inch NPT on the back of the Dakota blocks, and ran that line up the turbo. This time I'm going to be running a oil filter sandwich, because for one thing, since my turbo is going to be mounted on the passenger side of the engine and the oil filter is located on the passenger side of the engine, this is going to work out really well because I won't have to run a big line, and this way I can keep the stock sender on the truck in its stock location. It's really hard to reach back there to get the line threaded in, and in the future if I decide to add oil pressure gauge or an oil temperature gauge, I want to add both of those at some point, I've got 3 spots here that I can add stuff. So I probably will put the turbo one on this, and then, I don't know, run gauges off the other two, and this right here, this other piece that came with it, if I can screw that back in real quick, this is just what threads into this thing somehow. I'm not really sure exactly how, to be completely honest with you, but this this end of it threads into the block, and then the other end of it is what the filter will go on to. I'm not sure exactly how this whole setup works, but I'll figure it out. It's not going to be that hard. And yeah, that's that. Let's go on to the next one. This is going to be the feed line, I think, for the turbo. I got a really, really short line because of the fact that the oil filter sandwich I'm running is going to be pretty much right next to the turbo, which is going to be nice because I won't have lines wrapping all over the place. Yep, that's what it is. And this line, nothing else in there, no stickers or anything. If I find stickers, I'll hang on to them because I like stickering on my laptop. Yeah, this one comes with, rather than like the little plate that goes to the top of the turbo, this one just has a fitting that'll go on the top. Now this, oddly enough, didn't come with any sort of copper crush washer to go to it, so I'm gonna have to put some sort of like thread tape around these threads, otherwise it's gonna leak. Elbow on both ends, which will work out really well to keep the line tucked and keep it from being in the way of stuff. It'll look a lot better, especially for the elbow being on the top of the turbo. That way the line doesn't have a giant loop running up and then back down. That'll be nice. So yeah, there's that. Really short. Like I said, this is like half the size of the one I ran on the green truck, which is the one advantage to using the oil filter sandwich. Yep, T-bolt clamp, and it is a Spectre T-bolt clamp as well. That's the receipt, and at least they did a good job of packing it. The big box is kind of overkill, but I appreciate it anyway. At least they cared. And so this is a 4-inch T-bolt clamp to go with this 4-inch coupler. Because I didn't want to use just a standard hose clamp, I'd rather use a T-bolt clamp because that's the proper way to do it. Spectre brand, which is interesting because it'll actually match the air hat that I bought. I bought a Spectre air hat because I'll talk about it a little bit more, but I had an issue with blowing the plastic ones up that come stock on the later Dakotas. So I learned my lesson, and this time around went and did it the right way and spent $100 on an air hat. And this is going to be the oil drain stuff right there. So this is a 5/8 inch, can't really see it, 5/8 inch barb fitting. So this will just go onto the bottom of the turbo, and I'll try to find fuel hose this size at the auto parts stores because I didn't order any because I forgot. If not, I'll just use heater hose for a little while and then order some Teflon braided fuel hose or something that can actually take oil and last to put over this. But the drain fitting I have, and this fitting right here, they're both 5/8. I had to make sure they matched because I almost bought one that was a little bit bigger. I don't remember what size I was looking at, but I almost accidentally bought two mismatched sizes, which would have been unfortunate. And now, this I got marked down on price a little bit because it said it was missing the box, or it had been opened, I think. It was used as a display model of some sort, I think. And it had been opened, so it was $100 instead of like $105, $110. So I saved a little bit of money. If you're gonna end up buying one of these and you know that you are, check around before you actually need to order it for like a week or two and see if you can find one secondhand, because they turn up secondhand quite often for around like $60, $70, $80. I've seen them as low as $50 used on eBay. This time around, couldn't find any that were any cheaper than a brand new one, unfortunately. I should have bought some in the past because I've come across a few of them for sale for like half of what they are brand new, and this thing doesn't really wear out. It's a piece of aluminum. So, a quick advice for you, if you know you're going to want one, and if you're going to turbocharge a Dodge Dakota, you're going to need one, because like I was talking about before, the plastic air hats from the later generation 3.9 Dakotas and the 5.2 Dakotas as well, those plastic air hats explode. I destroyed 2 of them on the green Dakota, and like they explode, no joke, they just pop and they explode and send pieces of plastic flying all over the place. Did it twice on the green Dakota, and didn't want to deal with it ever again, so there we go. So if, oh wow, it comes in like a, that's interesting, like a cinch bag or something too. It's actually kind of impressive. No wonder the thing was so expensive. That's kind of nice. Yeah, there's Spectre box, Profab, whatever that is. This one is the low profile one, so it'll sit really low. On later generation Dakotas, clearance with the hood is an issue, so one like this is what you're going to wind up needing. This thing is really heavy. Wow. That's a lot heavier than I expected it to be. But yeah, you're going to probably need to get a low profile one to run one of these on later Dakota. Mine, I could fit one of the big tall ones, but this is what was on sale. This is the cheapest one I could find on eBay. Cheapest one I could find on the internet, period. Couldn't find any used ones. This is really nice. The finish, for being as expensive as it is, the polished finish isn't done very well. I'm kind of criticizing it because I just don't understand why they cost so much. But like on the bead roll and stuff, it doesn't, I mean, this is going to be hidden, but I don't know, you can see all the sanding marks and stuff from it being made. But it is very heavy and it's very thick, so this thing will definitely hold up to anything I can possibly put it to. and my coupler should slide right over that, like so, and then the 2.5-inch intercooler piping will go right there. It is a really nice looking part though, and I mean, it probably weighs an entire pound, honestly, and that's a lot of aluminum. I mean, you can see the thickness of it right there. This is the first one I've ever owned. It's kind of cool. Wanted to buy one of these for the green truck, but never got around to it. Wow, that is kind of nice though. I kind of understand now, because I always thought those were going to be like super thin. Like if you've ever bought that 3-inch intake pipe from AutoZone or something, you know what I'm talking about, that really thin. That's what I thought this was going to be like. I thought it was going to be some really thin chintzy stuff, because Spectre, I mean, Spectre's an okay brand, but they tend to lean towards the cheaper side, especially with like their pod filters and stuff. But this is a really good piece of equipment. So hopefully that'll be the last one I ever have to buy, and it came with this neat little bag. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I'll probably put this back in the bag, because knowing me, I'm going to end up dropping it or something. Get this open and show you guys what is hiding in here. This was $110. So what's interesting, that Spectre air hat was $100. Everything in this box was $110. That's why I was kind of lost on the pricing for those air hats, because you can go on eBay and nobody makes like an off-brand version of those air hats. Like K&N makes one, or they make a handful of them, and then Edelbrock makes a few, but they're all really expensive. They're for carburetors, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that, but the Dakota throttle bodies use just your standard carburetor-sized air hat, so you can put a carburetor air filter on a Dakota as long as it clears like the cable linkage and stuff, because sometimes that is also an issue. But yeah, here we go. Wow, those look really nice. This is going to be really difficult to unbox in front of you guys and be able to show you everything, so I'm going to try my best. I know it's in the big box, but I'm going to hang on because there's another box inside of this box. So here we go. It is my intercooler piping. It's all black. There's an intercooler in here, there's couplers, and then this piping right here. All black. It looks really good. It's going to look awesome in the engine bay. Decided to go with black because it actually was the cheapest I could find, black instead of being the polished. Got some good, oh, what do you call it? Orange peel on the paint, but it's black intercooler piping. Good thickness to it. It'll do the job. Definitely like how this is going to look a lot better than just your standard silver. It's going to look really good in the truck engine bay, and it's going to be I'm going to kind of fit the whole stealth thing I'm going with, because everything is going to be in the engine bay, even the intercooler, because I'm going for sleeper, not trying to have the intercooler hanging out the front of the truck like the green one. There's another straight section right there. I do have two straight sections left over from my old eBay turbo kit, which some of you guys, most of you have probably seen that video from forever ago. That was really horrible, and I used the chest mount on the GoPro, this GoPro actually, to make that video, and it was kind of horrible, but for some reason people still watch it and enjoy it. I disabled comments on it because I used to get comments like every single day on that video. But I still have two pieces of straight intercooler piping for that, so I went and I tried really hard to find a kit that came with a lot of bends and elbows, since I have plenty of straight sections for it. So this box right here has the intercooler in it, and I'll open that in a second. And there's all of my couplers, more blue couplers. It worked out perfect. It was the cheapest intercooler piping kit I could find, and it came with black pipe and blue couplers, which is perfect. I've got, let's see, 8 straight ones and 4 elbows, which is a lot better than what my old eBay turbo kit had, because there's only 2 elbows, elbow couplers, or there might not have been any elbow couplers. I think there was 2 instead of 4, and there was still only 8 straight couplers. These straight ones are a little bit shorter, but it's probably part of the reason it was cheaper, which is just fine with me because they don't need to be giant like the ones that I had before. What I really like about those too is they don't have a brand marking on them. I didn't like that, and people still get upset about it that I said it in that video for some reason, but I don't like having that Sport JDM or whatever fake off-brand eBay brand stamped all over the couplers. I didn't appreciate that very much. But here, and the bag ripped open, all of the band clamps right there. Should be a pair of them for each coupler. His bag really got torn up on the way here. Set all those down. There's nothing much to look at since there was one floater around in the box. Just a 2.5-inch band clamp. Hopefully you guys can see much. This box and this table setup doesn't work perfectly, but there's just a bunch of elbows in here now. Some of the bubble wrap came off, so there's another elbow right here, another elbow. These are like a, I don't know, that's a 90. Those are both, all three of those were 90s. Got a couple stubby little ones. I think those are also 90s, but they're a lot shorter. And it's another stubby 90. This is a 45, short 45. Another 90. Jesus, there's a lot of 90s in here. Alright, so yeah, there's one more pipe in there. I don't know how many. I mean, there's enough pipes to use every single coupler on, basically, so you can do the math there. I'm not going to do the math too much. So there should be 8 pipes, actually, now that I think about it, because each coupler goes with one pipe. That makes sense. There should be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. There's 10 of them. Okay, well, yeah. My math is really bad, I don't know. But yeah, there's 10 pipes in there. 2 45 shorts and the rest are 90s, I think. And then there was the 2 straight ones that I pulled out already, which I will put back in this box. Oops, I about dropped that one. The 2 straight ones, and I'll probably end up sticking the other 2 straight sections that I have, which I think are out of my shed. End up sticking those in here because I might end up needing them. And if I run out of straight pipe, I can just use steel exhaust pipe if I have to. Let's stick these back in here. Try to keep all the couplers and the piping and stuff together. The couplers, those look pretty good. I think these are 3-ply. Yeah, they're 3-ply, so good ply too. It's not like just some single ply or double ply cheap stuff either. For $110, it's a really good deal, especially because it came with an intercooler. I'm gonna close this box up and get it out of the way. And this, once again, is black. It's gonna look really, really awesome in the engine bay. It's not all that common to see black intercoolers and black piping. I don't think I've ever seen an engine bay in person that has black piping and a black intercooler on it, so this will be really awesome to see. There's that. Hopefully, this thing didn't get banged up on the way here. Everything seemed to have been packaged pretty well, so let's hope. Oh wow, that didn't have a hinge on it. That just flopped open. Ooh, there we go. And hopefully, yes, good. No brand stamp on this one either. Try not to grab it by the fins. There we go. Flat black too. That is the intercooler. This is pretty much the perfect size for the amount of boost and the amount of power I'm going to be making. The truck's probably not going to even break 300 horsepower, at least at the wheels. I'm going to be running 8 pounds of boost. So yeah, this is the perfect size, probably even a little bit more than I really need, but this is the same exact intercooler I think that I had on the green truck, at least size-wise. It just doesn't have the stamping, and this one's black rather than being just a plain silver, but that looks really, really good. I don't know which side's front and back, to be completely honest, because one side has more of the fins face sticking out, the other side has less, so I'm assuming the side with more fins is supposed to be the front, but I don't really know. I'll probably have to look that up, or I'll just stick it in the truck and use it because it's not going to matter that much. But yeah, that is everything that I have. This is the intercooler. Showed you guys all the oil stuff. The things that I still need for this turbo setup to actually work and make power is I still need to get a fuel cut defender. I'm going to get a Turbo Smart fuel cut defender for it. I need to get the FMU still. I'm going to get the SPA adjustable one because it's the cheapest one and it's adjustable on the fly. There's just a bolt or a stud or something you adjust it with, which will be nice. And I need a boost gauge and a wideband gauge. I'm looking at just like the really cheap $15 boost gauge on eBay because I don't need anything crazy. And for wideband, I'm going to get an AEM. I don't remember which model it was, but I want to make sure I get a good wideband gauge to use because I want it to be accurate so I don't blow things up. And once those 4 things are here, the truck will be able to actually make boost and make power, and we'll get to see how quick it is and have a Turbo Dakota on the channel again. It's been a long time coming, but it definitely needed to happen, and I'm glad it's happening again. I'm really, really excited to get back to it again. And there will be 2 turbo cars, for the first time ever on this channel, 2 running, driving, turbocharged cars in my possession. So I'll get the PT Cruiser, and then the truck will be right there with it. So that'll be pretty awesome. 2 turbo Mopars in my possession. That's first for me. So yeah, I want to thank you guys very much for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe, and come back in a week or 2. There should be a nice little turbo install going on. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. I want to thank you guys very much for watching once again, and I will see you later.